No.
Alrighty,
Why?
what's going on, everybody? This is SafeWord. Pow, pow, pow,
Pow, pow, pow. Get that sound
Yay!
deck working. Pow, pow.
God, you mention it every week. Why don't you try it? All right, what's up, everybody? This is SafeWord, your platform for teaching, learning, and opening the eyes of our audience to the world of kink, BDSM, and relationships. All right, y'all know who it is. It's your host, Mr. K. Marcos.
Wait, just...
Yeah.
What are we doing? Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Kay.
I did. It's your turn. Like,
Go ahead.
I did. It's your turn.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. My bad. I was like, oh, okay.
Stone
So,
relationship.
yes, I'm your other host. That is not here tonight.
No shit.
Sword.
And I am your co-host, Callista Fury.
And I am your co-host, Knight Wagner.
So how's it going, Kinkster?
Oh my goodness.
Did you watch the video this week?
You know the answer to that question.
No.
Yeah, so if not, please go watch it. It was a little late this week. But the shit's
a good one.
funny.
It's
It's
a good one.
hilarious. It's hilarious. So I'm gonna need you to go watch that. So I'm sure you probably don't know what we're talking about, but you're gonna find it. Yes.
But first, make sure you like and subscribe for more content on kink, BDSM, and relationships.
Relationship. Nice.
It's a rainbow
All
for
right.
people that don't know.
Right? Right. We gotta get rehearsals. Are
The
coming.
more
It's
you
fine. It's
know.
fine. We're gonna get on beat with this, you know. But here's the deal. We need to say hello to our A1 since day one, Mr. Roy. He works with us on all of our videos, on all of our stations, channels, networks, leaves comments. So we give him a shout out. So crew, would we like to say hello to our fan favorite? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
What up, Roy?
Right. Oh, I got one too. Big support from Crystal, the intern. Thank you very much for supporting the show.
Nice.
Yes,
I
thank you,
like
Crystal.
it. I like it. We're there. So if you want your shout outs like Crystal and Mr. Roy, all you gotta do is tune in. Hello, like, subscribe, comment, make yourself known. So if you just landed on this channel and you have no idea what the hell you're watching, this is Safe Word. And here on Safe Word, we have a safe word of the day. We use this safe word to stop, halt, and completely put a pause on all topics of conversation. So, Safe Word crew, would we like to let everybody know what the safe word of the day is? If you don't know, it's right here on the board. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Spice.
Spice girls.
Yeah, spice.
Good. You had to.
No girls. No,
No?
just
Nope,
look.
just spice.
See the
Oh, the exclamation point dot.
spice,
Okay.
and it ends. Pow!
Got it.
Spice! All right. So use that word if it's getting too hot, too heavy, you want the topic, the conversation to stop. Say it. But sometimes we're saying it and can't nobody hear us. So Safe Word crew, what do we do when ain't nobody stopping when we're saying the safe word? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cacao. So make sure you throw up that hand signal and make sure that you say the safe word of the day, which is spice, so that everybody knows what it is. Mr. Kane, do we have kink news? Hot topics.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we
All right, so, man, I had some stuff already set up, but, everybody's talking about it. It just happened, so, us at SafeWord, we got to bring it up. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II. She passed away on, what was it, Thursday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah.
Well, I've been hearing
Whatever day
about
it
it
is for
since
you.
like Tuesday, Wednesday. Like they were talking about, just her being in a not so good, stable condition. Didn't know how much longer she was going to be. So she passed on Thursday. And how do we feel about that? Like, everybody's got their opinions. So, just real quick, reigned for 70 years. She passed
70
away at the
years.
tender age of 96.
I thought it was 98.
96.
It was 96?
96.
Wow. Okay. So first and foremost, it was kind of crazy because I had heard that she was, not doing well. And yesterday morning on the news, they were reporting that she was sick and they were moving her to her other home or whatever, away from the palace, out in the countryside, right? And they were going to be taking care of her, trying to get her better. And then the news was showing how she met the new prime minister. And they're like, she came in, she shook this woman's hand, accepted her as the prime minister, blah, blah, blah. And then they zoom in on her hand, and the entire back part of her hand was black and blue. And so they were like, something's going on, because like she reached out to shake this woman's hand and the whole back part was all black and blue. And they're like, well, that must have been why they moved her to this other home. And then, noon, 1 o'clock rolls around and breaking news alert. And all of a sudden she had passed. And I'm just like, I feel like they knew. Like, I kind of feel like they, okay, you're pointing out the thing on her hand, telling us she's moving over here. And then, later on in the afternoon, she just passed. But,
I think she knew.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think she was setting stuff up long beforehand. You know what I'm saying?
From what I understand, I'm not so close to 12 o'clock myself, but from what I understand, those that are going to hit the chime get a good sense of it.
Right. So, I mean, what do we feel, crew? Because, for me, I'm old, I'm ancient. So, as far as I know, Queen Elizabeth has just been the queen, for as long as I've been alive. So, the fact that she's kind of gone is like I expected it, but still kind of crazy in the same aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad moment for sure. It is whenever really anybody dies, especially a huge icon such as the Queen. But she's lived a long life. So, I mean, she will forever, hold a special place in a lot of people's hearts. She will always continue being an icon. There's no one that can really, say that they've been a queen for how many reigning years? She wasn't the longest reigning,
monarch.
She's been around for some time. So, at some point, I mean, it's just time to go, unfortunately. But I mean, you kind of hope that once you do pass, that you leave a good impression on the world. So, I mean, I believe she did that.
I would say, there's a lot of controversy actually right now. A lot of talk about the colonialism of the UK and the role that it had for certain people, especially people of color. So we could look at it two ways. I mean, the British Empire did some things. So did every empire. The United States did some things. I'm sure, certain presidents passed away and people were like, F him. But we could say generally how, if we look at somebody's entire life and what they contributed themselves personally, she will be remembered. She was she brought the country through a number of crises. The monarch doesn't have a whole lot of power when it comes to making decisions, but they are a symbol for the country, and she was that. So that's what I was gonna say, is that they're not really a monarch anymore. They're more of a symbol head, but it's still something, stands for something.
It's a ceremonial position. It's been a ceremonial position for quite some time. A lot of the power as far as legal decision making, passing laws, and all this other stuff, it's really left up to their version of Congress called Parliament, and the Prime Minister, which acts as their president. So all of the legal stuff, passing bills, implementing laws, and doing all that other stuff, all runs through the Parliament, and the royal family more or less is like I said, a ceremonial symbolic position where it's just recognizing the authority of the family lineage all the way back to the original reigning monarchs that did make decisions. And so I mean, but it's still really tragic. It's a mixed bag for me, because here in the States, they put the flags at half-mast, in honor of Queen Elizabeth, and that's getting a lot of, just drawback and, hate, because they're saying, she's not American, we did fight in a war 300 years ago, but, it's still just, it's a gesture of respect for our allies. It definitely warrants the amount of respect, to lower the flag to half-mast. Just a lot of people really aren't liking it. And to be honest, 70 years is that's a run.
Think of any job that you spent 70 years in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and here I'm going to bring up something kind of controversial here, just on the same topic. But did anybody hear what the whole deal with Meghan Markle was, and
Oh yeah,
and going and visiting, and
she didn't go.
like what she's doing now, like no, okay,
No.
so so Meghan Markle and her prince, they were talking about that they were going to go see her when she was sick, and they were planning on traveling, and they were going to go see her, right? And then that was like the day before she passed. Then she passed yesterday, and Megan's like, "Yep, not going, not going to go to the funeral, not going to be there, not showing up, staying in my vacation home." Like, and I just want to know, like, because I have my opinions on it, but I want to know from the crew what you guys think as far as, and like, you gotta have to have a little backstory on Megan and what she's been through with the Queen, and been through with, being indoctrinated into this family, for lack of a better word.
You don't even need the backstory when you consider it like this, right?
Mhm.
Somebody had an evil stepmom, let's say.
Right.
And if you felt that that person treated you badly, Queen, not Queen, works at Safeway, whatever.
Yeah.
That person passes, and you're like, sorry.
Well,
I got,
Well, I was trying to do it for my man, but
yeah.
now
I don't have to.
So,
that's all you.
So the Queen definitely wasn't the favorite in-law.
No, no. She, Megan. Do you know who Meghan Markle is, right?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, so like the fact that she's mixed, the fact that she wasn't royalty, she didn't come from pure blood, all those things were problems in the beginning, and I'm sure she went through a lot more than what they projected in the media.
Oh, absolutely. It's always worse behind closed doors. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure she got it from. I hate to say it like this, but I'm sure she got it from both sides, right? Like you in the big house now, and as well as oh well, you don't belong here. So
yeah, her transition to the spotlight was not easy.
It was not.
No,
not
at all.
It was bad.
And I mean, it's like,
yeah.
I hate to say it, but that's an old family, and I mean, like, they're from, and like, you could say it's a different time and everything, but it's definitely modern age. And that we just said, the Queen was 96. So I mean, think about the history within the last 96 years, everything else, and then also take into account that, like we mentioned earlier, it's a ceremonial position and symbolic of the lineage of the royal family. All the way back to those days. Game of Thrones is pretty popular. How did the Targaryens keep the lines pure? I mean, they were really selective about, like, what families married into where, and I mean, not necessarily to, like, implement that there was incest, like incestual relationships going on, but I mean, they were all royalty. So I mean, like, their partners came from like dukes, high-ranking officials, just people in prominent positions of power. And then it's
like how they used to breed dogs back in the day. How did you get a pure line?
And well, that was their thing, is just kind of, and not even so much saying like a pure line, keeping it all within the family, but just not really wanting to intermingle even different strains of DNA, like being mixed, or not being from the UK, or having a certain skin tone or complexion. Like, that was something that they were all really adamant about. And so now with her passing, it's definitely coming into it's gonna get back in the spotlight. I imagine that Megan's gonna write a book, like she's gonna come out, and that'll be a bestseller
before she writes a book, though.
Yeah,
she don't get pressed for not going to her fucking mother-in-law's funeral.
Oh yeah,
before she fucking writes a book.
Now, like, a lot of people forget, okay, Camilla Parker Bowles. Now, Camilla Parker Bowles is the Queen Consort. So after Princess Diana, this was Prince Charles's main squeeze. And she was dragged for many years. They called her a dog. They said she was ugly and poor, so horrible. And this is somebody they now accept, okay?
Yeah. No, she was getting in the limo with him off the private plane this morning, and I'm just like, wait, weren't they dragging her through the streets a couple years ago?
No,
like,
it was
watch out, it's cold. I need to get in the car.
Yeah. So just to put in perspective, this is somebody they didn't like, and
Yeah.
Compared to Meghan, it's not a pretty thing. I don't blame her at all for being like, okay, you guys, I'll send a card.
Well, if we're talking about royalty and families and all, like Princess Diana, she wasn't even mixed. She wasn't even, I mean, she came from a good family. It wasn't royalty, but she came from a good family, but she still went through shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're just
yeah.
Elite as you can get.
Right.
The word pedigree seems to...
Yes,
Seems to apply here.
That is a great word for this. Yes, your pedigree has to be correct. So, here's the deal. No one in the SafeWord crew would end up on the royal family.
Hey, you don't know that. I didn't take a DNA test. Find out.
I'd trim the hedges.
Yeah, don't listen. PSA announcement. Do not take DNA tests. I'm just saying.
Right, for real.
Don't take them. Don't take them. Variety of reasons.
We could literally go into this all night. This could be a separate live. Y'all want to see that? I suggest you join the Patreon because we do extra lives, but you got to join the Patreon.
Yes.
But, okay, so we talked a little about the Queen. We don't want to go too much because I'm sorry. I love the Queen. I'm sorry she's gone. I really am. But she ain't kinky. So, would you like to get back to some kink news?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I'm sure she has some secrets in the
Well,
closet.
I'm sure she is, but we ain't got no news on her.
Why do you think Putin likes coming over?
In a couple years.
There's 3 lovers just waiting and chomping at the bit, like statute of limitations.
She wears the crown. She's like, oh, call me your majesty. Anyway, comment.
I'm sure she does. She ran that shit. How do you think she ran him for fucking 70 years? Hello? Mm-hmm. With a flogger and a whip.
Mm-hmm.
Bow down, bitches.
All right, so moving on. Here's something that happened kind of recently, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. So there's this female bare knuckle fighter, right? So it's not necessarily within the UFC, the big fight league. It's one of those, back in what was that? Damn, and just like that, it left me. Pride fighting. Back in the Pride Fighting Syndicate, like there was a bunch of those offshoot kind of fight leagues. So this one is the Bare Knuckle League, and she was victorious. She scored a first round knockout. It was kind of her debut. I mean, she's been training and everything. This was her first time, on the big stage. Landed the first round knockout, and to celebrate, she jumped up on the ring and bared it all, flashed the crowd.
More than bare knuckles. I like it.
Right? Hey. So
I like it.
It's drawn a lot of attention just because it's like everybody's kind of conflicted on how to feel about this. And when I say everybody's conflicted, I mean a couple people are bitching. Basically, like whether what she did was right, whether she should be fined, whether she should be penalized. So
what's the problem? What's the problem, officer?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's a celebration. I mean, I can't say exactly that, if I was in the UFC or something, that I would strip my boxers off and do a cartwheel in the middle of the ring, but I'm also not going to put myself above it. So
I pay for that. I pay for that. What pay-per-view do I gotta? What?
You'd see Conor McGregor drop his drawers and start,
Yo, Derek Lewis did it. Derek Lewis won a fight, and during the post-fight interview, right in the middle of the ring, started stripping off his fight. And he just had his little spandex boxers on underneath, and they're just like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's like, "Yo, my balls is hot." So
he's just taking down his pants. He won. He's tired, sweating, and this motherfucker's like, Joe Rogan's coming up. He's like, "Yo, man, what you doing?
What you doing? Hey.
My balls are hot." And he's pulling off his fucking pants. He's like, "Yo, Joe, you and I have to go smoke now because I won, and I can smoke and drink and eat and shit. Let's do this." I was like, oh, okay.
You ladies will have to tell me. Does it get hot? You working out? You're sweating. Does it get hot underneath the sports bra where you just have to let it out?
Yes, absolutely. Hello.
I would imagine so.
A sweat catcher. That's what I call it.
I would imagine so.
And you open it up and it's like.
All right. Well, I can't blame her then.
Comes out.
Can't blame her.
No, I mean. With her flashing, I understand, men, they obviously, fight topless, they're showing their nipples. Why is it not okay for women to show ours as well? But I mean, I'm a little bit more modest when it comes to things like that. So, what was the
You don't-
point of her
what?
flashing?
You don't flash
why,
people?
Why get so no?
What a
Why
waste!
get so excited that you flash? I mean, she was just kind of wanting to provoke and get a rise out of people, out of something. So,
To be
I
honest,
guess I,
I
just
mean,
don't see the point.
yo, her name's Ty Emery, and now that name is gonna be, I mean, like, more than just winning the fight, more than just anything. I mean, she got some free publicity out of it.
Yeah.
And so
There
I
you go.
bet
That was
you,
15
I
minutes,
bet you
for
her
sure,
next
'cause we're all
fight is going to
talking
be a
about it.
bigger ticket just because of the controversy
Yeah.
and the attention she's getting from this act that she performed. So, I mean, I think she,
Yeah, it's like, ooh, what is she gonna do next?
right?
But that's another problem because they're gonna expect the tatas out the second time. They're like, come on, the first crowd paid ticket the same. They paid less than we did, and they
Right.
got the bigger prize.
The next
Let's
next
go.
event, like the whole first 10 rows is going to be nothing but dudes. Like, I hope she comes on this side.
Yeah, and that's the problem now. Now you set a trend, so now you gotta flash them every. And this is why everyone's up in arms because they have to the children are watching. Listen, in Europe it's not such a big deal. The boobies don't scare people over here.
It's the reason I started this show.
I feel
We
like
need to get
everywhere
there,
else the
America.
boobies
We
aren't a
need to
big
get
deal.
there.
I don't know why
Like, is
boobies
there-
are scary.
Is there just like
Right?
off the top of your head, because I
Beautiful.
can't think
They
of one
really
right
are.
now. Is there another country that's as, oh, well, I guess like the Middle East where it's like,
Middle East. Yeah,
I mean-
think about it. Where is
Yeah,
where is prudish in some things as the Middle East, and on the other hand is as dirty as the darkest alleyway in the back street of Romania.
Right. It's like it's okay if it's done in the dark. Don't bring it to light, though. I don't want to know about it. Like it's okay. You do you in the dark. Whatever you do with the butt plug and the that thing and the medical devices, in the fire plate. You go over in there. We won't talk about it, but you're okay. See, now that's what I love about Europe is that when you're in Europe, it's like you did what? How? When? Fire what? Medical
Yeah, they're
what?
like, whoa, that
Oh my
sounds
God.
interesting.
Wait, you use what? Oh
Send
my God,
them
I
all.
gotta try that tonight. And it's like with their man. It's not even in a scene. It's like, I'm not getting paid for this. Wait, what did you do with the blood plug? Wait, hold on. What did you do with the plug? You know?
we're,
Okay, so real quick, I got a comment going back to the Queen thing and the death of the Queen. Okay, because I had to get some clarification. So now I have clarification. All right. So going back to the whole Queen thing. All right. So we got a comment that says, "No one would be royalty. We all know you are the Queen." And then you got a knight. So
Hey.
I mean, yeah, hey, SafeWord would already be up on that royal freaking court. We'd
Creating
be
the
at
royal
court,
line.
knight.
all
Well,
right.
I don't know
my-
about Kane and Callista, but we'd be at court.
My official title is Baron von Wagner. Just so
Oh my god. Now we're all gonna have to come up with official titles and put it on the website. Shit.
God.
that is my lineage.
All right, so this one's really interesting just because like I really want to get everybody's position on this, and I really want to put this news out there because it's something that I'm going to be following. Scientists have developed a synthetic embryo without using sperm or an egg, and they're labeling it as an answer for fertility treatments. But I'm madly curious. I mean, just the process of creating a synthetic embryo, like creating life out of nothing because you didn't use the genetic materials that, evolution has provided for us and that we've used for eons. But, like, how far are we from, just complete and total destruction on, like, I feel like we're on the precipice of, like, either greatness or complete and total annihilation. Just creating life out of nothing. Like, what are your guys' takes on that? Because that's literally what it is.
It seems a little strange to me.
I can be here.
The questions I have is like, where is it using stem cell technology? Is it made from silicon and bioluminescent fungus? How exactly is this happening?
So right now it's still a proprietary project. I mean, they're not divulging too much information on how they exactly recreated this. This is something that they have just like, Eureka, we've done it. And, you know, like the news is out that the process worked, but they're not exactly, you know, giving away trade secrets on how they managed it. And so, I mean, again, cause for concern.
The activists will have a field day with this. It's because
yeah.
they're like, oh, this is based on baby fetuses and or other vegan horse manure. The point is,
yeah,
there's got to be some issue with it somewhere. Someone's gonna have a problem with it.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
There's no pleasing everyone 100% of the time, but I mean, didn't we talk about, kind of get into this a little bit when we were talking about like dinosaurs and everything too, and creating basically
you mentioned the story.
Something out of nothing? I mean, didn't the science fiction movies teach us anything? Or I don't see this really going well.
But on the other hand, you have a couple, let's say, call it a traditional hetero relationship, and they've been trying to have children.
Adopt.
And everything has failed.
No, stop. No.
Adopt.
But I don't.
This is where you use SafeWord, Calista. Vice.
Adopt. They don't want anybody else's mistake. They want to make their own mistake.
Damn.
Children are not mistakes.
Well, and so here's where, like, really honestly, I feel like this is going to turn the psychological community on its head, just because it's really going to call into the, I mean, at this point, it's going to really disband the nature versus nurture debate. You know, like what has the greatest effect on human development, nature or nurturing? And now, I mean, like, you can't, it's going to be all based on nurturing. And how do you nurture something? I mean, how do you even classify this? I mean, it doesn't have a nature per se to say, you know, there's no lineage, there's no ancestry, there's no genetics to base, you know, certain personality or behavior or anything about.
Oh,
so
that's
I mean,
a good point.
as this child's being raised, I mean, it's going to be completely and totally up to the environment that it's in, which right now I can't see being too nurturing. If they're going to constantly be running experiments, seeing how things are going, I mean, it's not going to be a natural life, especially for the first one.
You've seen Stranger Things? She turned out okay.
Okay.
You've seen The Boys? They didn't.
Yeah.
She turned out okay.
You seen The Boys? They didn't. The fucking pseudo Captain America ain't okay.
No.
Drinking breast milk.
Valid point.
He ain't okay.
Valid point.
No, like,
motherfucker ain't okay. He killed the person he was getting breast milk from. He ain't okay.
spoilers.
Let's follow what we see in pop culture, because half the time it's true. And let's not do this. Let's not.
They're gonna end up creating like a little serial killer Chucky doll type of deal.
Right! And they're not gonna be able to control shit. They're fucking experimenting. Your experiments go wrong. What are you gonna do?
Yo,
lock this thing in a cage. It has emotions, feelings, consciousness.
Honestly, I think the worst part of it is the intelligence.
Right.
And honestly, I'm gonna call it right now. This is gonna turn out like Splice.
Yeah.
That's gonna turn out like Splice.
No, if you haven't seen that movie, all I gotta say is go watch it, and then you're gonna shudder, okay? Because this is the only line that I remember from the motherfucking movie. I wanna be in you. Yeah. So yeah, go watch Splice, and let's not do this.
Well.
Let's just not.
Like, another good point is they actually, there are scientists that say there's such a thing as genetic memory that's passed down.
Right.
Animals have things, and they pick up things from a genetic lineage. So if there's no genetic memory, what would that look like?
Yeah.
So not to delve too deep into like the psychological, you know, like aspect of it or anything, but something that I've always been curious about was there was this baby that they conducted experiments on like back in the 20s when shit like that was okay, called Little Albert. and it was talking about damn it, like I'm gonna be at a loss for words the entire night. Along the lines of like just personality development and things of that nature. They had this rat, a white rat, that they'd let little Albert play with. And so, I mean, his curiosity was natural, and so like he was fascinated and curious about this rat. And so they let him pet it, they let him touch it and everything. And so then after a couple interactions, I believe it was Dr. Sigmund Freud went and started banging a pipe every time the child touched the rat, and it would startle the kid and make him cry. And so it was based on associative memory or associative cognition, where because he was constantly berated with, you know, like this rat coming to him and getting scared with the busting pipe, it got to the point where the doctor didn't even have to hit the pipe. Just showing him the rat was enough for him to start crying, because he registered it. He assigned it a negative connotation within his own mind. Every time I see this thing, I get scared. It's fearful. It wasn't ever hurt, wasn't ever abused, just startled. And so that was the end of the experiment. You know, like, all right, cool. Like, we learned a lot about, you know, cognitive association. I would love for them to have followed up, you know, like 15, 20 years later. And because as an infant, this is when this experiment was conducted. Did he ever overcome that fear? Did it turn into a phobia? Right. Was it recurring?
Let me ask you. I mean, we still see this today when, you know, you see moms out in the parking lot taking off their belts or saying, hey, go grab a switch.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you came, so I know you got beat as a child.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that would make a lot of sense with you. So
made me who I am today.
Do you get scared or frightened when you see a belt?
No, actually, I get excited now. So that would be something worth like looking into. Does little Albert get excited? Is he excitable? Is it now a...
Yo, Splice. Or Spice. Splice.
What? You messed up the safe word?
Yeah, I did. Spice. Because we were talking about Splice and I said it. Okay, anyways. Spice. I love having Callista on this gosh darn show. I'm just saying, because she just called your ass out. Like, you used to catch whippings, Kane. So I'm just saying, are you afraid of whippings? Is that why you're dumb? Is that why you whip people now?
You know what? Probably. I never really evaluated it that way. I'm going to have to start looking into that. Start doing some inner reflections.
The experiment's still happening.
To answer your question, they did. And it's called Scientology. What you're describing is what they call engrams. Now, I know a little bit about Scientology. I'm not a Scientologist myself, but tertiary.
Never.
But what you're describing, they call engrams, and the majority, 90% of the things that you need to do in Scientology is to eliminate those engrams. And that's what they call going clear. Once you get rid of those engrams, they're no longer bothering you. You're not going to see a rat, feel the anxiety from the pipes. Then you're clear, and then you go on to the next step.
So what would it have taken little Albert to, you know, like clear that engram? Like, what was, like, I just wish there was a little bit of a follow-up.
$2,000.
Right?
$2,000. And a lot of time.
And a lot of time.
All right, and finally, just to kind of, you know, like get some good conversation going, not to say that, you know, this wasn't all stimulating, but I know this is definitely good. Everyone's going to have an opinion on this, and I'm excited just to see where we go with it, just because I have my own way of feeling about it. Have you guys seen the TikTok video of the guy who walked out, quit his job, because his manager told him to top up the register out of his wallet after he forgot to give change to a customer?
Okay, wait. I know that Callista didn't hear that because we were all like, like, just repeat it for the audience and for Callista. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so there's this one cat. He made a viral TikTok video. It's gotten...
Wait. Mike, you gotta reenact it.
Yeah.
You gotta reenact it.
I like it. Like, what happened?
All right, so there's this guy who walked out, who made a viral TikTok video where he walked out of his job because a customer paid in cash. And he says in the video, I assumed they didn't want change. And so then the customer said, hey, can I get my change? And so then this guy's scrambling around the restaurant trying to figure out, and he says that he went to the front of the restaurant, the back, the registers, and couldn't find change, which I find hard to believe, but a separate topic. Said he couldn't find change.
Right.
And so the customer complained to the manager, who reimbursed the customer their change on a gift card.
Yep.
All right. So then the manager asked the employee, you need to, out of your wallet, out of your check, reimburse the register. And so this guy's response was, but it's clear because you gave the customer a gift card. And so the manager's like, no, it's got to come out of your check. You need to retop the register. The register's short now. And so this was a concept that was completely lost on this gentleman. So he quit his job. And from what it sounds like, pocketed, whatever the change was, which I can't imagine was more than a couple bucks.
More than $5.
Yeah. So manager reimbursed the customer out of the register via a gift card. And the employee was confused, apparently, by, you gave him a gift card, we're square. Like, no, the customer's square, the register is not. And so without understanding or grasping that concept, this guy said, fuck this, I'm out, I quit. I'm out of here. Walked out, immediately pulled out his phone, got on TikTok and said, yo, I just quit my job. Fucking manager wanted me to put money back into the register out of my wallet after he reimbursed the customer with the gift card. And he's getting a shit ton of support from other people in the service industry saying, you'll find another job. Good on you. That was incorrect. The manager was wrong. And I just got to say, I don't think so.
I agree with you because I've been the manager at a restaurant. I've been the manager at Lucky Strike. I've opened Lucky Strikes around the country, okay? If I'm compensating somebody, a customer.
That's a comp.
It's a comp.
That's
Now, hopefully, my company has some kind of pennygram, some kind of money they set aside for comps.
They usually do.
No,
They have
no,
cash.
no, they do fucking not in the restaurant industry. It's oh God, I hope this is the case because this is a really good customer. He leaves like $50 tips on a $20 tab. I'm gonna comp him like 3 drinks. You know what I'm saying? And then you find out that there is no. So where do you think the money comes from when the till is short as a manager? You're closing down for the night, okay? You're collecting everybody's tips. You're making sure everybody gets tipped out. You have to do the books at the end of the night. Where do you think the money comes from?
It doesn't come from anywhere. You have to make a report and report it up the lines, and you get chewed out and you get yelled at.
The restaurant puts, Look, I was a general manager at a restaurant back in my hometown, and the restaurant took the hit, and the manager
That's
took
really
the
nice of
write-up.
them. I have worked for major fucking companies. The Office, I'm going to name them out. Lucky Strike. We can keep going, because I worked as a bartender and a manager for fucking years. The thing is that at a certain point, if they do not have that liability and you comp somebody as the manager on duty that's closing for that night, it comes out of your goddamn paycheck.
Well, and that's just it. It was supposed
illegal.
to. It should have come out of.
Illegal. Nielegalne. You got screwed. You should have had a lawyer. That is illegal. Cannot do that. The job, especially that particular job, cannot expect you to have your wallet.
Do you know how many companies do that? Do you have any idea?
Ugh. They shouldn't. It shouldn't. You should not have to have a wallet on the job. You have your ID.
No.
You don't
Right.
need to have money on the job.
Then it comes out of your check. I mean, if you're the reason that the register's short because of a mistake on your part.
If it's a mistake that you have to recompensate, that's one thing. But if the restaurant.
Well, okay, and here's the deal. Here's how I got caught up one time. It's a mistake if you haven't read the handbook and the new changes to the policy, which means we do not have penny cash on hand. So if you're going to comp somebody, it's on you.
If there's no policy of comping, if there's no policy of comping, then you can make that argument. But if the restaurant, then you have to refuse the customer's business. If you cannot, if the restaurant cannot meet the cash flow demands, then you have to refuse that customer business.
Well, and I've had that situation too. But regardless, like it's $5. You are a waiter.
Well, and so
you did not ask that person if they wanted change back. You just assumed the change was yours. I'm sorry. I'm glad you quit as a manager. I'd be glad that you quit because then I didn't have to fire your ass.
Well, and here's the thing.
That is definitely the waiter's fault for making that assumption. I do think that maybe wherever you worked at, you got screwed a little bit on that.
A little bit.
Where I had worked at,
a number of times. That's how it works here. I mean, if you ain't working in a small little company, that's how it works.
Because we had a petty cash drawer. If we did a comp, because it's not like we were comping every other customer or client or anything. But it was the restaurant that lost out. As a manager, I was able to make that choice, or at my own discretion. But at the same time, that waiter shouldn't have made that assumption. It should have come out of that guy's pocket for making that assumption. That was his money owed to the customer. So when the restaurant reimbursed him, then that employee needed to reimburse the restaurant.
Well, and here's what I think. I think that he quit because here's the deal. A lot of restaurants, at least when I was moving out of the restaurant industry, a lot of the restaurants were going to like you put all your tips in a bucket. You know what I'm saying? And then it's spread evenly between the bar back, the bartenders, the hostess, the damn, like hostess got very little, and that's only if they did something extra.
The bussers.
And the bussers. But no, waitresses paid out buses. But regardless, here's the deal. Like, it went into a tip drawer. That's what we called it. A tip drawer, a tip bucket, right? And it got spread out evenly. So if you're pocketing something off of a table, I don't care if it was your table or not. There's something that's off with that, because a lot of restaurants have moved to community tip bases. Yeah. So I think he kind of quit ahead of schedule so he wouldn't get fired. That's what I feel.
I think he also played on his emotions. He maybe didn't know how to do math right or something, or just felt an injustice of some sort and just played on an emotion and got pissed off and left.
Well, and so my thing is, how do you run a restaurant or a register without having, I mean, I've been a cashier before, I've been a clerk, and the register starts out at the day at the very least with like what, $200 in it or $150 in various bills, so that way you can provide change, because I mean, you can't hope that somebody's going to come in and overpay and not want their change, so that way you make money in the register, or so that way you have something in there. I mean, how did you not start out with any cash? Now, I mean, like, of course, if other people are paying cash and you're handing out change left and right, the register starts to run dry. How do you not have something in the back to retop that up to avoid this kind of conflict? And then also further, like, just how do you not understand or comprehend the fact that the manager is charging the register in order to satisfy a customer, and if cash isn't on hand, then he's reimbursing out of a gift card, which is adding the balance to the register. So at the end of the night, that register is going to be short.
Over or short.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because
that's the manager's discretion, though. That manager did that. It wasn't the employee that did that. The manager decided, I'll make a managerial decision to do this because I have the authority to do that.
And I have the ability to do this. I understand what's going on in the background. But like an employee, a fucking waitress, a bartender, nobody has those kind of fucking. I'm sorry, you don't have that knowledge to make that kind of. Look, I've gotten $100 tip on a bar before and had to throw it into the fucking tip jar, and he's like, "Yo, just put it in your pocket." I'm like, I can't. I would love to put this $100 tip in my pocket because you only spent $15, but I have to stick it in this bucket back here because at the end of the night, it's my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Yeah, the communal stuff I'm not a fan of, because when someone works really hard for a tip, it's not fair.
Yeah.
No, because I
Yeah.
had bartenders that would just stand around and like wouldn't do anything. They weren't working the well. They weren't serving drinks. They were just standing there looking cute. And yes, they were getting our tips up, but you're just standing there looking cute. You're not pouring a fucking drink. Do you know how to make a long iced tea? No. Oh, okay, bitch, move. You know, so like, and they would get half of my tips that I worked really hard.
Yeah.
So
no.
like that shit really pissed me off when they started moving to the communal thing, because like if somebody sets down a fucking $100 tip on a $15 I should be able to pocket that. But if that's not the rules and there's no backup for that, what are you doing? You don't assume either, because like what if the customer wanted his $5 back?
Yeah, there's listen, those that work in the industry, because it seems like all of us worked in the restaurant business. I worked at Johnny Rockets, and I got training in Reno to be a store manager, and then decided it's not what I want to do. Here's the deal: know your rights as workers. Know your rights. Know the policy of the company you're at, because they will try to abuse you. All right, that is another PSA. Make sure you know. And this guy felt he was being abused, which is probably why he quit. He felt it was unfair to reimburse the register, and there's a lot. As the manager, made some bad calls and didn't explain things probably clear enough to their employee. Know your rights, and if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
I'm a devil's advocate on this. I don't think you're being very nice. You're being very generous. If you're in the restaurant industry, you know the basic rules, okay?
You'd be
He
surprised.
knew what the fuck he was doing, taking the fucking extra change without giving it back to the customer and saying, hey, do you want your change back? That's what you do.
Well, they do that. They're like, all right, I'll take all of it and I'll be busy over here.
Right.
Oh, you want to change? Oh, okay. All right, it's a trick.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
I
trick.
never assumed. I'm sorry. When I worked a table, I never assumed. I was just like, here's your change.
It's a trick. They're just hoping somebody's like, okay, I won't mention it. Fine, keep the full bill.
And I think he caught on to that fact that he was about to get caught, and his ass quit. If you work in the restaurant industry, you understand what it is. So you stole money. That's like going to Buca de Beppo's, Capitol Grill, and somebody left a tip on the table, and you're walking out as a customer, and you're like, well, look, $20.
Oh, I seen that happen.
Yo.
Right.
Dark.
You do see it happen all the time. So, but like, you don't fucking do it. Like, it's just a common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You don't do
But
it.
unfortunately, not everyone is graced with common sense.
No,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely
Oh, yeah,
not.
yeah.
Well, and this is why this man quit. I'm sorry. I just have a very strong opinion on this. He quit before he could get fired.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they
I
made a
mean,
TikTok video to make sure he had backing and support.
But do you think he would have got fired though? I mean, he'd get written up, sure.
He would have got written up, yeah.
They'd probably
But
dock
he would
him.
have gotten a couple more chances. That's the restaurant industry. But, I mean, if it would have been corporate, he would have been gone. But, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, it's a fireable offense.
oh yeah.
In the restaurant industry, because of the industry, you would have given him another shot. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. Let's not play stupid.
All right, so that does it for me for hot topics tonight. Man, that took a really long time.
Well, they're hot.
Yeah.
They were hot.
They're
They were hot.
spicy.
We had to discuss.
They're Spice Girls.
Well, thank you for the kink news, Mr. K. Marcos. Let's all give him a round of applause. Soon we'll have a sound deck, so we don't have to do this. Okay. All right. So this week we were delving into, if you didn't get a chance to watch the video because it got put up late, we were delving into how to spice up your sex life without a partner. So the first thing that I want to do is get my crew's perspective on how you would spice up your sex life without a partner. Now, if you watch the video, it's quite hilarious. We took on a Meet the Fockers rendition. I played Roz, okay? And we did a sex tantra yoga. And the guys were super confused. I don't think that's the way that you would do it. We're going to kick it to Calista very last. But we're going to kick it to Mr. Kane first. How would you spice up your sex life on your own?
You know what? I've always been a huge advocate for edging. You know, like if you can edge yourself, you know, like build up some stamina, build up, you know, just sexual tension within yourself and be able to, you know, master that in order to, you know, be able to last longer with a partner, or, you know, just build up, you know, like build up enough so that way, you know, the sexual release, the orgasm is like 10 times better. I always thought, you know, like edging was the best way and the easiest way on your own to, like I said, develop stamina, prolong orgasms, and just in general, you know, be a better lover in regards to just, you know, hey, I know what I like, I know what I've been doing, and man, it's getting worked up. Like I'm not going all the way, but when I do go all the way, it's gonna be fantastic. There's gonna be some fireworks.
I gotta add to this.
Spice. I need some clarification.
Wait,
You
I
got
gotta add to this. Just real quick, and then we'll have clarification. I second you on that. Edging is amazing. The tease, it's fun. It's fucking fun. Okay, go ahead.
So how does, because we can call this like a normal day for a guy. You're just edging, going outside, looking, you know, going to the wrong bar, and you know, that can happen there. But so how do you do this? Let's say without causing yourself any cold nether regions. I mean, is that what you're looking for? You're trying to blue ball yourself?
You're trying to blue ball yourself. That's what he's asking.
Yes.
Said, yeah.
I don't think might approve.
Edging, aka blue balling yourself, teasing, denying. It's you just.
Look, can I add to this? Teasing and denial. Okay, like there's teasing, right? And people definitely get off to just the tease, right? And never seeing anything. But most people want to get to the finish, right? So with that teasing and denial, you're denying to a certain point. Eventually you're letting somebody release. And if it's yourself, you're denying yourself to a certain point to prolong something. I was almost there. Fuck shit.
That happens all the time. You're like, you know, and then like, ding dong, DoorDash is here, and you're like, oh crap, it wasn't so fast. Or you know, somebody grandma
there's
comes
a selection.
in, no, grandma, no.
There's a selection on DoorDash where it says just leave it at the fucking door.
He said, fuck DoorDash. I got my dick in my hand. Screw this.
That never happened to you? You're in the middle of something, and suddenly the bell rings, your pizza's here, you're like, oh no.
No, they leave it at the door.
Towel.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I second Kane's opinion on this. I would never. DoorDash is here. Great. Leave it outside the door. I'm flicking the bean until it's done. And
I'm hungry. I want that Chipotle.
I'm cold. I don't know.
What was that thing called? The Stranger? Or no, where it's like you take knockout or strikeout or something, you take 2 Excedrin PMs and try to masturbate before you pass out.
Right. Oh my God.
It's just like you order delivery and it's like 20 minutes? All right, cool, I got this. Nope, delivery driver was on a different level that day and came in 15 instead.
All green lights on the way. All right.
All the way down. It was a good day. All right, so we've heard Mr. Kane. He likes to edge himself. All right, that's how he's gonna spice up his own sex life. You want to know how Mr. Kane edges himself? Join the Patreon. Okay, so but Mr. Knight, we're gonna get it from the guys first. How would you spice up your sex life by yourself?
Oof, that's a tough one because you know, high tolerance for spice. I think what works for me, if I'm getting bored of a particular thing, is to add a flavor that I have not tried before. So if I'm, you know, everyone has their preferences on the internet, things they like. For example, if you're watching some don't want to give anybody any free plugs, but a site that offers videos. Try something new. Go to a category you normally wouldn't. You'd be surprised.
Yo, have you ever tried that on some of those bigger networks? There's a random. You ever try just hitting random and see, like what pops up?
Oh, yes.
You should.
No. Yes.
Give it a go. Give it a go.
Yes,
I'll just say
yes
this.
And no. Yes and no. What are you guys getting on random?
Listen,
I need to be on your all's random.
Listen.
Okay, because what I'm seeing is not okay.
I wasn't aware of Russian mature for a long time, but now that I am, add it to the list.
Well, I get a lot of the my randoms come up, and I don't know why, because I've never seen it, but my randoms come up as like BBWs trying to get it in, and it's like trying to get it in, because it's not just one, it's two, and it's like a forceful act. I've watched this just out of curiosity,
There you go. Add a little something new, You never
Try
know.
random today.
It can be exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So, Miss Callista, exciting. We've been very quiet tonight.
Yeah.
Miss Laura is attacking your ass. You know this.
Well, if you didn't catch last week's, episode, I don't really do the whole by myself thing. So with me, I don't like to, kind of touch. I like to have somebody service me and do that for me. So
but that's when it spice up your sex life without a partner. So how would you spice up your sex life without a partner? It doesn't necessarily mean
it's a dry spell. Yeah, you're in a dry spell. What do you do?
Well, actually, I like to read. So I like to read, maybe learn some new positions, something for whenever I get ready to, have a sexual encounter or something. I like to try something new. So I stick to reading and, look at my nice little picture books too. They have a lot of, good explanations.
What is this? Is this 6th grade sex health class?
Yo, she just recommended.
And they go like this.
Picture book.
And then
she literally just threw out, pick up Kama Sutra for beginners.
And just to kind of look at different options, learning something new, and then go out and try it. So
I like it. Okay. All right.
But isn't that like also edging? Isn't that like?
Well, kind of, I guess, if she's not touching herself. Yeah, that's like watching some stuff. Oh, shit, I want to try
Wait, hold on. Spice.
You already know
Wait a minute.
You guys already give me hell last week about this.
Go on now.
Go ahead, Knight.
She just said no. So you read these books, and you look at these picture books, and you're saying you don't get all hotty-toddy and bothered?
Well, sure, but I don't act on it. I don't touch. I don't just I get a nice little visual in my mind, and I escape in my mind, and just that's it. I'm good. Or I make that phone call.
Oh, I love it. I love it. She said, I make that phone call if it's getting too hot and heavy in here, and I can't. Look, there's no connection because I don't. Look, bitch, I need you here in 30 minutes or less, or the fucking shit's free.
Damn.
Shit.
T-Mobile is working on the cellular network, and things are down right now. What do you do?
I don't know. I just have a nice visual. It's just I don't. I guess I have that.
It's Callista. She could go in the backyard and do smoke signals. Somebody's just.
Wait, Spice. I'm gonna back up Callista on this shit. All right. Here's the deal. This is the thing, because she doesn't really understand where the labeling comes in with this. And I don't even think we're gonna get her to we're gonna do the big M, and we're gonna figure out, is that better than this? But for just pure having Callista's back. Here's the deal. She's a sapiosexual. Mentally,
that word again?
Mentally, she can be stimulated. Mentally, she can be turned on. She doesn't have to have any kind of physical act in order to get there. She doesn't have any physical act in order to rise it, to turn on the oven. Does that make sense? So a lot of people can do that. And I appreciate that there's somebody on the show that's like, yo, I ain't never, look, I just look at an image and be like, and if it gets too hot, hey, hi, Tuesday guy, yeah, you fit? No, I know it's Wednesday. Okay, no, okay, I'll call Thursday. You know, get it? I'm there for it. I'm there for it.
Yeah, I don't need the touch. So, I can have a nice little visual in my head and just be all right. I'm good.
So do you close everything down, pull the plug if it gets towards the red, or you just, how does it work? Like you're like, oh, I'm getting there. No, I'm done. Finish.
I don't know. It's just in my mind, things are exploding, things are happening, things are finishing. But if I can't get there on my own in my mind, and I make that phone call, simple as that.
I like it. She's like, I ain't gonna touch myself. It's a waste of energy. Get over here.
All right.
Look, Pillow Princess at its finest. You want to know? Yo, it's gonna be an ad. Callista Fury, Pillow Princess. I love it. We're gonna support all the Pillow Princesses right here, right now. All right.
Love it.
Okay, so I mean, those were all like really, 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 really great ideas. I've got another question for y'all. Y'all ready? Okay, so last week we had a kink of the month. Here's the deal. First person that can say it gets to make the game for next week. We bringing back games. What was the kink of the month for last week?
Spice!
Oh, you cheater!
Kink of the month. Wow. Yes! Callista for the win. Okay.
I knew it. I just didn't want to make the game.
I'm in. Right. He's like, I don't want to make the game. I don't want
I was like, let me throw out an answer and make sure it's wrong.
No, I should have said you win the game. Then the game was,
My God, this football's a grenade. No.
I thought you were saying Spice to shut us all up.
No. I was just being smart.
Smart ass.
All right. So the kink of the month last week was bondage. Okay. Has anybody in the crew tried that kink of the month to spice up the relationship, or even just tried it?
Yes.
And I'm going to kick it with, because I'm going to ask you for details, Mr. Kane. You've been here a minute. You're going to give me details. Okay, so Miss Callista, have you tried bondage?
This month or in general? Because there's two different answers. In general,
well,
yes, I have.
Okay, and this month?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not yet, she says. Not yet. It's on the list.
Would you be over yet? Share with me what kind of bondage you have tried in order to spice up your sex life?
Well, I've tied him up with the nice little, ribbon on the bedpost.
Ooh. Hey now.
Give him a little tease.
Ooh. Yep, I like it. We're here for it. Okay.
And then you can use your imagination from there.
They are.
Exactly.
They are.
Just imagine. They are. Mm-hmm. They're sitting there like, yes, Miss Callista, tie me up with a rock.
My imagination has me thinking he's complaining like, it's too tight and this is uncomfortable.
That's why he sticks something in his mouth so that way he shuts up.
Oh, damn. She said, look here. I'm going to need you to just shut the hell up and let this happen, okay? This is CNC. You already gave me your consent. Okay, good. All right. So, Mr. Knight, since you like to talk a lot, have you tried the kink of the month to spice up your relationship with a sexual relationship, I guess with yourself, without a partner, with somebody, but just you alone? Have you tried bondage?
The month ain't over yet. Give me a.
I love it.
Give me a chance. I have tried it a couple times. One sticks out in my memory. It was after work, so I was still in a suit and a tie, and I took off the tie, swung it around my head like a lasso, and I used it. What? It's good. What? Use your imagination, like Callista said.
That was sexy. Oh my God, that was sexy on a ton of levels. A ton.
Yeah. So I use my tie to tie things off, and I did my taxes.
I did my taxes.
God.
I love it. I filed, and I got a return.
Yes, I filed and got a return. Exactly. A rather large lump sum.
All right, Mr. Kane.
We got that 1040 easy on lock.
Easy, yes. But the emphasis
All right,
is on
Mr. Kane.
easy.
Mr. Kane, you ain't out the hot seat.
I
You
never
ain't.
left.
Okay, so have we tried the kink of the month?
Yes, I
And
have.
if so, how? Because you're old.
Yo, I couldn't.
If so, how?
I couldn't wait. I mean, like, it was my idea to have September's Kink of the Month be bondage, and so bondage is something that I'm really, really fascinated with. I mean, I think it's really interesting. Not necessarily like starting off and playing, but I mean, I got a couple of people, you know, like Callista ain't the only person with a Rolodex, you know, on tap. So called a couple people up. One came through, and I experimented with a new form of bondage. And it was almost by accident. All right, so we decided, you know, like we were gonna do, you know, just something kind of simple and a little, you know, like out of the norm. We just, you know, kind of did a den situation, like in the living room, and the blanket. We grabbed a couple blankets and got that person wrapped up in some blankets, and then it was just like, wait, if I hold down the blanket on this side, you're kind of stuck under the blanket with, you know, your legs out. And so, I mean, it's not a whole lot on the visual end. I mean, like, you know, for me, I like seeing boobies jiggle.
Cocoon, like a little cocoon.
No, so I grabbed the blanket, and she was laying on it, and so I grabbed this end of the blanket, pulled it over, and if I'm holding that down, yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of half a sleeping bag, just over, you know, certain the torso area, and
We got arms hanging out and legs hanging out. Come on, Knight. Use your imagination.
So, that's what I was thinking, like wrapped up, like, you know, spider.
So I mean, it's not just limited. It's not just limited to some scarves, handcuffs, silk ties, ropes, or anything. You could also use a blanket. You know, get a little creative with it. See if there's something new. Just be safe, because I'm realizing saying that somebody's gonna be like, "Yo, you ever tried barbed wire? I'm gonna give that a run." Nah, I don't think so.
Or please be safe and don't use the blanket and cover the chick's head and then, like, you know, suffocate her, or, you know, have to call 911. One person's passed out, tied up. That like we had a whole story on this with the guy and the, you know, jumping on the bed. Like, let's just not do that. Let's just make sure that we're safe. Okay, let's have conversation beforehand. That's all I'm saying. Okay, go ahead, Kane.
The ropes were there. I mean, I had plans on using some ropes and everything, but you know, things got started rather quickly. Just fooling around under some sheets, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, all right, cool. So yeah,
You found a good way to use bondage. I like it. You use the blanket instead of like the traditional cuffs or the ropes or.
that's what I'm
any
saying.
of that.
They were there. I mean, they were at the ready. Just things got a little too heated too fast, and used what worked. Used what I had on hand. I MacGyvered it.
It was hot because you had a blanket.
I sex Guyvered it. I'm patenting that. I'm coining it. I'm writing it down now. Sex Guyvered it.
Sex Guyver. DIY stuff around the house you could use. Interesting.
Yep.
Dog leash, saran wrap, old socks in the laundry room. I got you. I'm on it.
Wasn't a fort. It was a den. Roy.
In the den.
Wait, say that again. You cut out.
Roy
for me.
goes, Kane is building a fort in the living room. Nice to see I'm not the most immature. Like, wasn't a fort, it was a den. Okay, very
Right,
specific.
Exactly.
There's maturity in the den.
Ay, Dios mío. Now, we've been talking about kinks and things like this. We have maybe a few interesting points to make when it comes to people who have not maybe experimented so much. Something a bit more vanilla, on the vanilla side. Getting these people involved is not so easy. Finding somebody, a partner, to take part in this maybe takes a little bit of work. So let's say you just want to find somebody for a hookup. All right. So we're gonna, this is more my environment.
Everyone, you know, has a way that they like it. I know I do. I have a preference. So sometimes it's hard to kind of change up what already works. So that conversation could be difficult to have. Maybe try something new would be fun. Try a new position.
But with a brand spanking new person, we're talking you've gone to the club, all right, and you have worked your magic, and finally you have found somebody that's going to come home with you. What are you looking for? Are you looking to introduce this kind of thing right off the bat, or trying to leak into it, or are you just going to do a kind of vanilla style and then
And real talk, you bring someone home from the club. What do you do?
How do you drop it? Let's start the festivities with Miss Storm.
Ooh. So I'm bringing someone home from the club. I'm
bringing somebody home from the club. What do you do? Is it going to be boring vanilla time, or are you going to try and spice this up a little bit? Say, hey, listen.
Oh no, look. I'm gonna just let you know right now. Nope. Don't do anything vanilla. No. There might be a slight conversation. Now here's the deal. We're talking let out, because when we're talking let out, we're talking about people that are somewhat inebriated. You can't have a full conversation. I've been there. Okay. Don't like being there. But let's say, like, I've had a conversation. Okay, let me put the scenario out there. Let's say I've had a conversation with this person in the club. They kind of know that I'm DTF. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna go home. But before that, I'm gonna have a conversation. I'm at least gonna drop some hints. I'm freaky as shit. Like, we gonna need to. Look, we gonna need to have a side conversation before we step into my kitchen, okay?
See, but everybody says that. Everybody says, like, oh, I'm a freak in the sheet.
No.
Here's something that I brought up last week is, communication. Communication is key, and to have that ability to be able to talk to your partner about what you like. I mean, it seems like people are too shy or have a hard time communicating with what they like. So, I mean, that's why I like to communicate, is to be able to, hey, this is what I want. This isn't working. But you should be able to have that open communication with your partner. And, I mean, that's why I communicate, to get the job done. So, I mean, you're already there. Might as well.
I love it. I'm here for it. And that, like, that's what I was saying. Like, if I'm meeting somebody in the club, I'm letting them know off beat. Like, look, I'm into some freaky shit. Like, either you can hang or you cannot. And here's the deal.
That's gonna backfire more times than it ever comes to fruition. Just because,
not for a girl. Wait, no, not for a girl. Hold on.
This is the other thing that I say.
This is the other thing that I say. Let me just let you know right now. I'm gonna get mine. If you don't get yours by the time I get mine, your shoes are by the door. You in my motherfucking house. I need to go to sleep. Good night.
Hey, that's not fair.
Come with me. This is what it is. I know how to get myself off. So
that's not fair. What if he's trying to take his time, make it last?
Look, take your time. For me personally, you're asking me, okay? So for me, take your time. All the rest of that bullshit, I gotta give a fucking shit about you. I gotta be in a relationship.
Like, baby, take your time, do it right. You can do it, baby.
Like, I gotta be in a legitimate placing where we've discussed some stuff and I care about what's going on in the situation. If I'm just there to please myself, but with open communication, and I'm letting you know this, what's wrong with that? I'm gonna try a new position. If you open, you giving me consent, I'm gonna try it all.
I don't know. Let me hear a male's perspective to counter this shenanigans. Mr. Marcos. So you're finding somebody brand spanking new, and communication's apparently the key. How do you do it?
Oh, man. So first, like, if I'm bringing somebody home from the club, I mean, it's one of those things. It's a roll of the dice. I mean, if it's a random hookup, that's exactly what it is. It's random. I mean, I can be honest. If I'm bringing someone home, I'm hoping she's not a pillow princess. Like, just gonna kind of lay there. I hope that they're like into it. I hope that they bring some new stuff to the table. I'm looking to be surprised. I'm hoping to be, like, okay, all right, we can work with this. I don't want to.
Okay.
I mean, not to say that communication isn't important or anything, but I'm hoping I don't have to communicate too much. Like, if I have to say less teeth, we're done.
So you like the
different levels of
spontaneity of it
communication,
all.
though. You have your verbal, your nonverbal,
Right.
and
But you like the
there's different ways to
spontaneity. You
communicate.
don't like having to discuss it all out.
Well,
You like the
not
spontaneity
necessarily
of
like
your-
having to discuss it all out or anything, but like I said, I mean, I really hope that this person's as open to a new sexual experience and an exciting one as I am, and hopefully not just, oh, I'm taking this guy home, do what you want. Like, all right, well, then you're gonna be disappointed, you know, like that's not getting you breakfast in the morning.
Well, you're just happy to bring somebody home to begin with, so you're not thinking about all the details. You're just
Well,
like,
and like,
somebody said yes.
like how Aurora just said. I mean, I've had chicks in the club tell me, you know, like, oh, you're in for a wild night. Like I hope you're into some freaky stuff. And I've been on both ends of the
And they're all
spectrum
wrong.
with it, to where it's like, get home and it's like, all right, well, when you said freaky stuff, I thought we were gonna have a little bit more fun or excitement than this. Well, I guess you know,
Yep.
if that's what you're
freaky stuff,
comfortable
her
with,
dog's,
then
her dog's in the room. That's as freaky as it gets.
Right. Okay. I was too long ago on a live about a dog being in the room while he was banging, and she wanted the dogs in the room to watch. So I am dying that you just brought that up. Vader's mortified. He's like, you brought me back to my past.
Oh, he's like,
So for those of y'all who don't know, I hooked up with a chick one time. We were at her place. We were watching a movie, and you know things got a little hot and heavy, and so we moved to the bedroom. And I mean everything's going according to plan. Like everything's progressing very nicely. And then she stops me, like mid. I won't even say mid stroke. Like like before the penetration happened, she goes, "Wait," and I'm like, "What's going on?" I mean, that's like the worst time to kind of halt the mood or like say hold on or like need a glass of water or anything. Like, yo, it's about to go in. That person is excited. All right, wait, what? Stop.
I need to use the toilet.
What? And she's like looking at me dead in the eyes, and I mean, she's kind of a smoke show, and she's looking at me, and she's beautiful, and she just goes, "Can we bring the dogs in here?"
No. Sorry. Oh. I'm like,
And
no.
I mean, I don't necessarily, and it wasn't brought up in like a, oh, hey, the dogs have been outside for a while, I need to bring them in, or it's like, hey, they're gonna bark at the window. It was like, no, can we bring the dogs into the bedroom? Now, she didn't exactly specify what the dogs were gonna be doing, and this was kind of early in my, like, kink and fetish, experiences, and so I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I'm just like, I gotta go, and so I'm, like, putting my clothes back on, and she's like, "What's going on?"
Whoa! You packed up and left,
Fuck yeah,
bro.
yo. Okay, she didn't have Pomeranians.
I'm looking like
She
an
didn't.
audience.
She didn't have Pomeranians. She didn't have a Chihuahua. This chick had Great Danes.
Oh, she's one
Yeah.
of them. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
really
she
liked
had
the
some
dogs,
big ass
okay.
dogs, and she had 3 of them.
3. Oh, no.
3 big ass dogs, and she's like, "Can we bring the dogs in here?" And I'm like, "Yo, this is a big ass house. Like, what do they need to be in here for?" Like, I had a lot of stuff firing up here during that time, and ultimately, the parliament that was going on in my head was like, exit, exit, exit. Say aye. Yep. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Dog's like, oh, I'm a tag team this one. This one's mine.
And I'm just gonna say right
Oh.
now, like, hey, I pride myself. I edge myself proudly. I work on stamina. I like to. I don't ever want to hear the phrase "you're a minute man." Like even if I go for like an hour and a half, and if she goes, "Well, that was quick," like, what? I don't ever want to be
Wait,
in that
I really
position
like
or that predicament.
Spice. I've got a real conversation. I've got a question. It's a burning question. And believe me, this is coming up later on this season because we're going to have a whole out war of guys versus girls, okay? But, Callista, as the other woman on the show, okay? Is it a disappointment when a man lasts less than a minute?
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay.
But a minute can also be a long time. Have you ever done like a plank at the gym for a minute? That's a long ass time to do a plank.
Okay, and,
But I'm
and
still disappointed.
I'm gonna weigh in on this too. But is it exciting? We'll put it this way because this is the way it's put. Just in general, is it exciting when a man lasts, oh, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3,
No.
4, 5, 6?
No, I'm done.
Yeah.
Wait, but it's not like it's one thing during that entire hour.
No,
There's a whole show.
No,
There's a whole.
it doesn't matter. There's a hole that you are just consistently rubbing.
No, there's a whole smorgasbord of things you can do within that time. It's not just.
No. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm with Callista on this one. Like, I'm a little disappointed if it's under a minute. It's like, really? Like, you just preheated the oven. Are you fucking kidding me? The juices just got flowing. Are you kidding me?
Hold on, Spice.
Okay.
Okay, then I gotta ask, since you guys are kind of beating around the bush on this, what is a good amount of time? Like, what are you guys looking for in a satisfying sexual experience? Like, is 10 minutes too less? Is too little?
Wait. Calista just answered her. She's like, look, I got this.
I need a solid 15 minutes minimum at least. At least. 30 minutes, we're good. You know, things are probably happening by that time. When it starts getting 45 minutes to an hour, I'm like, all right, we got to wrap this up. We're done.
Right.
But you're talking like 15 minutes high intensity workout, right? You're not talking about.
No, not necessarily. Look, okay, so for me, it depends on the person. Okay, if I'm connected with you, if we can fall in and out of it, if we can joke in between, you know, and get back into it. You know, I'm no longer really that turned on, but I'm still wet. He's not really, but he's there. You know what I'm saying? But we can get it back. Cool, great. If you're a fuck buddy, under a minute's too short, and over 30 minutes is too motherfucking long. What are you trying to prove? Like, at this point, you're giving me rug burn. Like, okay, we're good. We're fucking good. Yeah, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that, rug burn. Thank you. I could have gotten off 10 minutes ago.
All right, so I mean, I just got to put this out there for guys. I mean, Emma Stone's not returning my calls or answering my emails. But if she did,
Watch the show. Wait, Spice.
Yep.
Wait, Spice. I gotta fill people in because we got new hosts on this show, and we got new people watching. Okay?
Emma Stone came out and said that she was a kinkster, said that she likes the kinky stuff, and so I was just like, yeah, all right, hey, like you're speaking my language now, so I've been throwing it out, you know, every couple lives or so, like, Emma Stone, come on, like, I know you looking, like, hit me up, call me, answer me. So, like, if Emma Stone were to ever respond and been like, yeah, like, we're good, I'm gonna like grab a hotel, and you know, I am trying to sun up to sundown that shit, like, if that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, then you know what? Hey, like, rug burn be damned.
Once in a lifetime opportunity for you, not
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
excuse me, did you hear this?
I did.
She said,
I did.
One in a lifetime for her. If she's with me, it's one in a lifetime for both of us. You can't just gonna walk away from this experience and say, wow, this nobody blew my socks off. He may not have been in a film, but holy cow, he's way better than Brad Pitt because that guy only gave me 1 minute. After that, no thank you.
Apparently, like,
yo, I am trying to 9 to 5 that from 9 at night to 5 in the morning, and I'm gonna be on the red carpet just.
It'll be red after.
Yeah, it'll be red and raw, and she'll be like, "Why did I show up?"
Unbelievable! One in a lifetime experience for everybody. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. Let's get this show back on the rails because we do have some stuff to talk about as far as how to spice. Woo. God, we
That's
really don't
spicy.
want to-
That's
No,
spicy.
It's spicy. It's spicy
All right,
up in here.
that was
But
kid.
I think Callista
Callista,
has
yes.
something for us.
What's your
You
spice?
know, it's gonna get us back on track.
What's your spice for a random hookup?
Jesus. Okay, Miss Callista, I'm kicking it to you.
But what was the question here?
There's the random hookup, the booty call, the one nighter, not someone that you're familiar with. What do? Something kinky, vanilla. You add some spice to it. How do you approach that?
Oh, we're maybe trying new new positions that I didn't try with the previous guy or whatever. Trying something different. Trying something that I learned in my little picture book.
So how do you get somebody to get on board with that? They're like, yeah, I'm going home with this chick, and then she bringing out a picture book. What's all this, honey?
Sex Bible, yeah. No, so I'm a very verbal person. So I'm not saying, yeah, this is how you do it. This is how we're gonna do it. I'm not like that. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you what I like. Communication for me is key. So I'm telling you how I want it done, and if you don't know, I'm teaching you. Maybe we can do it again next time, but if you don't get it right after that, you're done.
If you're a good student.
Oh, hold up, Spice. I have a fucking question, and this is a question for Callista. I'm gonna piggyback on this one real quick. Have you ever tried to tell somebody how you like it, and tried to be nice about it? Been like, okay, look, this is. He doesn't talk to me, touch me here, like put your hand right here, like, and they've taken it negatively, or it's been sideways, or the shit ends up, off the rails, and you're just like, I'm just trying to.
I know what I'm doing. This.
I know what I like. Like, can you? Because like you say, you don't do it by yourself. So like, have you ever run into that situation with somebody where you're just like, hey, I need to do it like this, and they're just like.
So I'm very, I'll ask you once, I'll tell you once, and then you're gone. So
okay. Oh, I like it.
I have had a guy, really respond negatively because something wasn't going his way or just didn't want to do something. And it was very negative. It got really aggressive. And I just had to kick him out. And you know what? I was okay with that because it's first being comfortable with who you are and have that confidence in yourself to be like, all right, hard limit, we're done, you got to go. So yes, I have had where a man has responded negatively and you just had to, all right, we're done, we're cutting this short, have a good day. I don't even remember your name, but bye anyways.
Just curiosity's sake. So it was something you wanted him to do, or something or something you didn't want him to do?
He was trying to do something.
So you said, don't do this.
Yes.
Don't do this, and then he got aggressive and upset about it because he couldn't do what he wanted to do. Gotcha.
See,
later. Sayonara.
And see, I gotta put a quick PSA out there for like all the dudes out there, and even some of the ladies. Be coachable. Yes. I mean, like if your partner's willing to communicate and is saying something, I mean, it's not dogging you. It's not saying you're doing it wrong. It's just saying it ain't right for me. And if we're both going to enjoy this experience, then why not make it enjoyable for the both of us? Like, I can't say enough how many times like I've gotten, oral and chick is just like this. Like, no, I need you to chill out. It's not a shake weight. Like, just slow down a little bit. Or like I said, if I have to say less teeth, a certain amount of times, then we're kind of done. And it's like, if you're going to get offended, like, oh, and this is something like, it brings it up. It's really near and dear to my heart because I had a chick tell me, all the guys like this. And I was like, cool, leave, go fuck with them. Like,
different strokes for different folks. There's a reason that's a saying. Nobody is the same. Nobody likes it the same. If you think that because I get these questions all the time within my intimacy coaching, right? People ask me all the time, I want to know how to be a better lover. I want to know how to please a woman. Give me the tips and tricks to please a woman. Honey, I can't because I don't know the woman you're going for. Like, I don't know her. I don't know what she likes. I don't know if she likes it slow, fast, hard. You to talk dirty, you to grab her hair, smack her. Those are all things that you have to have communication with. If you want to be a better lover, like Miss Callista said, communicate.
That
Like,
shit's,
I know it feels awkward, but
that shit's hilarious because like
communication that
how
happens so that you figure out how to please your partner.
it's such a I know exactly who this is. It's a guy thing. It's like, yo, how do I be a better lover? Like how can I be better at pleasing her? And
Say
if
it
you
all the time.
and if you say, have you tried talking to her? Oh no, well, I'm trying to surprise her. I'm like, well, surprise her and fucking talk to her.
Talk.
Right. Talk to her,
Nah.
figure out what she likes, because a lot of times those things come in underlying things in conversation, and you can pick up on that, and then you can surprise her.
Dude,
But like, it's not gonna just happen from getting it from a coach, a client, a fucking therapist to be a better lover, like because they
No.
don't know your lover.
so you guys,
People need to stop walking around like they're God's gift and communicate with their partner.
Right.
And I mean, it's just it amazes me how closed off some people are. If you cannot openly talk about sex, maybe you really shouldn't be having sex. If you're not grown enough to be able to communicate that, then you're not grown enough to have that kind of connection with someone.
yo, so you know how like
Gosh, kid, just put my penis in something.
and
You
it's
know what I mean?
and it's funny that
And
you
get in a jar of peanut butter or something, or take care of that yourself. But if you cannot communicate with your partner, you shouldn't be doing it.
I gotta let you guys know right now, like if you're watching this, if you're a female viewer, like just a heads up. You know, like they have it like in movies. I even think there was like an episode of like Rick and Morty that had it. You know when dudes are sitting around talking about like, oh dude, that's killer. But have you ever tried the rusty gargoyle?
Yeah.
That's what dudes
Yeah.
are talking about when they say, how do I be a better lover? Oh man, have you tried giving her the rusty gargoyle? Have you ever tried giving her a
you
shaky
gotta
trombone? You ever dirty
Twist it,
Sancha?
yeah.
And
Try-
then
try the
the-
45
And
degree
then
angle
these
next
dudes
time,
come,
yeah.
these dudes leave, they try that out, come back, and be like, oh man, she didn't like that, man. You're fucking dumb. Like, oh, you gave me bad advice.
Okay.
No.
Yo, I can add to that. Okay, I had a client that reached out to me asking me how to be a better lover. He was guy. He was like, look, and I was like, okay, well, great. Like, do you have a partner? Do you have a play partner? Like, I need to know the situation, right? And he's like, well, no. Like, I have like, you know, a girl that I kind of randomly hook up with, but I'm just trying to hook up with like girls and be okay and be good. He's like, I'm kind of a nerd, and I'm just like, okay, and he's like, but okay, so I heard. Okay, y'all ready for this one? Okay, because this guy is like older. And this is something that most guys have probably heard about in high school. And he was really, really adamant, like not letting this go, even when I gave him explanation. The ABC method?
ABC 1, 2, 3, Michael Jackson?
No. Like when you are eating a girl out, the ABC
Write the
method.
ABCs.
You go,
Oh, to do the ABCs with your tongue.
C, D, right. So he was like all on this, and he's just like, yo, he's like the ABC method. Everybody talks about, blah, blah, blah. I did it to this girl, and she was just like sitting there bored, counting the tiles on the ceiling. And I'm like, because you, like, you're trying to trace letters, and she's trying to be in the moment. So you just needed to let go of all the overthinking and no, because everybody said that if I get to freaking what did he say? T. He was like, if I get to T, the girl's supposed to pop up, and then she's like gonna like come back to me, you know, every freaking Wednesday, and I'm just like,
You get the T, she'll come back for XYZ? What?
Right, like what? She's gonna come back for the rest of the alphabet? Baby, it doesn't
What
work
is
like that.
this?
Like maybe she wasn't even into, because there's a lot of women that aren't even into that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what preheats their oven. That's not what turns them on. That's not what lifts it. You could be down there for 2 hours and it does absolutely nothing except for something for you, because she's sitting there like, you know, so like you've got to know the person that you're playing with, and the only way to know that is to Night. Calista, would you like to add into this? What do you need to do in order to know someone? You both have said it tonight.
Do the math?
Yeah, do the math. Communicate. Calista, got it right.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a second before we put a fork in this one. So some guys will say, yeah, okay, so I hear you say communicate, yeah, and you're supposed to talk to somebody, but you know it's late, It's 3 a.m. Friday night. Who has time? Like, you would talk to be like this girl who's half drunk, be like, yo, so what do you like? You have time for that. So what are you doing?
You can do it during kinky sex talk. You know what I'm saying? You can do it as you're freaking foreplay. Do you like this? Ooh, girl, yeah, you want that right there. You know, that can work. I'm sure Kane can give us something because he's scratching his head.
Those dudes at 3 a.m. sitting there like, oh, no one's telling you to have a full-on like Sex Anatomy 101 right there and have a full hour and a half long conversation for 15 minutes worth of fun. You guys know, you hear oohs, you hear ahs, keep doing that shit. Quit trying to change it up, quit trying to do something different. If you want to do something different while you're down there, hum.
What song? What song should I hum?
The Star Spangled Banner? Anything, the Star Spangled Banner, Happy Birthday, anything, hum.
Row your boat, Knight. Row your boat. Backwards and forwards and then doing it around. Okay,
all right. So when she gets to merrily, 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 that's when it happens, right?
And it might not. And then that's when you're just, and here's the thing. Here's where communication at the very bare bones is this. You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, imagine that. You like that? It's going to be a yes or a no, or it might be a or an okay? Listen, there's verbal cues.
Here, I'm a dom, okay? But when I'm with somebody that is my partner, and let's say we haven't communicated about that, because sometimes that doesn't freaking happen, even in a relationship. You get with somebody, you kind of go about your business, you get into this long-ass relationship, and then you don't talk about stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you're used to doing that. But you can do it in the bedroom the same way. And what Kane just said, hey, you like that? Like when I put my hand here, make it sexy, make it a game, make it something, so that, you know, if you are feeling uncomfortable with having the conversation beforehand and communicating it in kind of like a negotiation process, then you're doing it for the moment. It might turn that person on, it might not, and that, you know, but that's a risk that you're willing to take in the spontaneity of it.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to do spontaneity, you know what I'm saying? So
to be a better
dirty talk, and dirty talk can be a lot of fun too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you don't know unless you try. So, like, to make it easy, to be a better lover, because there is a way to be a better lover, and it's to listen, and to be observant, and to be flexible. I don't mean be able to stretch your legs, but to be able to adjust in a situation. That
you
too.
Don't like it when it's behind your head? You don't like it when the legs is like wrapped.
That too. That's important too. But flexibility in the bedroom, being able to change things up if things are not going your way. You start playing a tune and the crowd isn't digging it, like a DJ. Just change it up. Find out what they like. There you go. That's how you do it.
Exactly. So.
All right.
We've definitely got some new positions on this. Most definitely, we got what you could do, you know, if you're in a spontaneity situation.
Oh, and you know what? On top of that, as well, I want to hear from you in the comments. All right. So in your situations where you have maybe like your worst or most interesting hookup, put them in the comments, because I love those stories. Want to hear them.
Hey, maybe we'll read them. Maybe we'll take a live off of.
Definitely read them.
Mishap. You just won't put your name in it.
Definitely.
But I'm sure that Miss Wilson has something to add to this as well. You got something to carry on the show with here.
I think that was it.
That is an excellent question. I'm good.
I mean, really, honestly, everyone has a way that they like it, and you know, sometimes it's hard to change up what works, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really think that communication, again, is key. Don't be afraid to try something new. You can try, you know, a new position, some dirty talk, or even role play. So, I mean, there's definitely different things that you can try, and just to be able to be open with your partner and to really figure out what works for the both of you. I mean, you're already there. Might as well make it enjoyable for the both of you. So,
and don't be afraid to dirty talk. Like here's something. here's something that I've noticed, and I'm just going to add this in here. I feel like that guys have a really hard time dirty talking.
They do.
Like when it really comes down to it.
They do.
And like, cause I've been with a dude and been like, yo, tell me you want to grab my, tell me you want to, tell me you want to smack it. Tell me, and they're like, I want to smack it. I want to grab a.
Your mountains of love are very well endowed.
Don't ever say that.
I would love to.
I would love to just flick the are they called nipples? Nipples?
I would give them Eskimo kisses with my nose.
Okay, so Mr. Kane, I really have a question for you. Have you experienced the problem as a male having dirty talk in the bedroom? And I want you to be very, very, very fucking honest, like from the beginning to where you're at now. Have you had a hard time doing dirty talk in the bedroom? Because that's my experience with men.
All right, and I really feel like it just comes down to like one simple and plain fact, is almost every guy is really good at dirty talking.
Okay.
Almost every guy's good at it. I mean, like, it takes a lot of work to be legitimately bad at it. Now, here's where you guys are looking at me like, you know, a melted Barbie doll. Is the shit that goes on in our head, we get so wrapped up in how it's going to sound coming out, and we second guess ourselves, and that's when it's just, you know, and people flounder, they you know, like, they get all wrapped up in it, because a guy's got no problem telling you, like, oh, I just want to, you know, and I can't get as explicit as what guys really would be thinking, but just know they've got a whole scene mapped out in their head. If they've ever witnessed pornography, they have shit they can say. They know what they want to say. But is that gonna scare her off? Is that gonna be okay? Is she gonna give me, you know, a side eye? Is it gonna be like, okay, no, never mind, stop? And so they flounder, they fluster, and then they just, that's when you get like the randomness, because I want to say that I want to do this, but you might get freaked out, so I'll do this because I think it's what you want to hear. Yeah, no, just...
Now he's been waiting very patiently with one finger. He's just like, I'm one finger.
Aurora knows what's coming. Now, you said every guy has in his head what he would like to say. Now, as someone who has, let's say, very flowery language, okay? The thoughts in my head come out exactly how I want to say them, and I guarantee you it would not be sexy in outside of a Victorian era situation.
Well, then I advise that you get on a Reddit community on some Victorian era cosplay and go drive them broads wild, because they'll eat that shit up. And like you said, different strokes for different folks. There's somebody who will dig your dirty talk and will think that you're good at it.
The average, let's say, not to be disparaging, but the average club hoe is not going to appreciate such... For example, not going to appreciate such flowery language. Milady.
It's not going to be like, Milady, I give you my scarf because I've won the tourney. And...
I just imagine Knight's dirty talk going something along
sandwich. Yes.
I feel like Knight's dirty talk goes along the lines of, I wish to ejaculate upon your bosom. You know, stuff like that.
You're not too far away from the truth.
All right, and that's fine.
You gotta read the room. I mean, some girls will go all over it. They're all for it.
But ejaculate on my bosom.
But you know, because the statement was like, you know, guys have a thought train, a thought process, and a lot of them could say it. And I'm thinking maybe because I've heard some talk from the ladies talk about some of the guys and some of the things they said. Even I would be like, whoa, hold up there, cowboy. And that's kind of how they thought about it.
Spice. Aurora.
Yes.
And here's a perfect example right here. Like, I'm about to, right now.
Drop the mic. All right, cool.
Aurora.
Let's drop the mic.
Aurora.
Yes.
When a man refers to his genitalia, what's that one word that you really don't like?
All right. I already know it. Cock-a-doodle-doo, rooster,
Right.
hey.
Right. So for Aurora,
doing that. You gotta stop.
if you refer to your member, she even says you can call it a penis, you can call it a dick, you can call it your, Mr. Plaything. Just don't call it a COCK. Right?
Wait, so you'd be happy with Mr. Plaything? Because I'm cool with that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
All
Mr.
Anything
Plaything's
other than.
Name
All right.
Sir Knight Wagner, fucking let it fly. I'm here for it. Yeah, call it a rooster? We out.
Okay. Now here's why men are so bad at dirty talk. Because I know both of you have experience when asking a guy talk dirty to me. He doesn't start referring to, areas of the body by slang terms. He starts going into anatomically correct and starts mentioning, what he'd like to do to your breasts, your bosoms, your buttocks, your vagina. Right? And it's just like, that's not hot. You're reading out of a medical textbook.
What kind of freaks do you
And
think
it's
I get
because
with? I'm sorry.
it's because a guy's not going to sit there and be like, if I call him tits, is she going to get upset? Is she going to be offended by that? Is boobs too immature? Breasts is safe. So I'm going to talk about your breasts during dirty talk.
Okay, I get
Because
it.
that's something that's widely accepted, just not in the damn bedroom apparently. But it's like, it's that double dutch game. It's like, if I call him this, are you going to get upset? If I say that, is it going to trigger something? If I say boobies, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm fucking an immature person.
I'd like to maul your memories.
Right,
okay, so
exactly.
I'm going to get Spice. I'm going to get real serious here for a second. Okay. This is where, as much as it is awkward, as much as it feels funny, as much as it's like, oh my God, this is a new person. I don't know if they're going to go for what I'm into. Just fucking communicate what you're into, what you like. Look, if you say COCK, I'm leaving the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, just say it. Lay your boundaries out from the door so that that's not an issue. Because these guys, they're overthinking shit in the bedroom, and then it comes out like, yeah, you like my little friend. You like my friend? It's in there good, isn't it, girl? Like, it's not hot. So just have a conversation beforehand so he knows.
When do you have time for all of this talk?
There's so many. Look,
No, it's as simple as just saying what's on your mind. You're either going to get reciprocated or not. You just go for it. And
but
so
you say go for it, but then if you don't know that you're not supposed to say "cock-a-doodle-doo," then all of a sudden she bounces. You're like, "Whoa, what did I do wrong? I didn't ask."
Well, and that's just the name of the game apparently, because no one's going to be on the same page. And that's just it.
This is why we have this forum. Okay, so look, I know it's awkward to okay, so let's take it back to the club scene, right? If we take it back to the club scene, we're meeting someone new, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to take this person home. Whatever. You can't sit there and be like, look, I don't like this or that. Maybe you can. Maybe you're that kind of a bold person. I am. I'm going to tell you, look, I don't like this shit. But here's the deal. You may not feel comfortable to do that. So you're hot and heavy and in the moment. And you're just like, yo, babe, don't use that. Look, use this. Fucking talk to me like this. Just tell me. You can make it sexy. You can make it okay.
I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Has anybody ever said cock and you've been there like, ooh, no, don't say it like that. Call it this.
Yes.
I call bullshit.
110% yes.
I call
Once.
bullshit.
Once she tried it on for size and was like, nope, I'll just bounce.
I agree with Aurora on this one. You can definitely, there's a tone that you use.
Oh, yep.
And you can pretty much say anything you want and it's sexy.
Yep. And here's the deal, and if somebody said something that's unsexy, I can totally be like, ooh, baby, damn.
Don't say that.
But don't say that. Say it like this. Ooh, that really gets me there.
Don't say that.
I mean, come on. Fucking put something in it so you don't lose the mood. This is what we're trying to teach people.
Because I've heard too many stories from too many ladies that were like, oh, everything was fine until he did this. And killed the mood, and they literally stopped. They stopped the show.
Okay, and this is where I'm saying that women are off too, and women also need to communicate effectively what they like and dislike, and you can do that in a spur of a moment situation, spontaneity, and make it sexy and not kill the mood. You can also kill the mood and make the guy get out and put on his shoes, put on his clothes, and go home. But that's
See, but that's what they do because they have the choices, they have the options. I mean, they don't have to have they have somebody home that night, but they don't have to do it. They're happy to say bounce and then pull out the Rolodex. So they have again, unfortunately, the weight of power now.
Look, don't act like men don't got it too. There's a reason why in society there is a little black book. Okay, it's associated to men. There's a reason. Okay, so just like we can go to our Rolodex, which you're just now finding out about 15 years later. Okay, that women have a fucking Rolodex. Men have had a black book for fucking years.
I beg to differ.
Kane told us a story where he walked out because he didn't want an audience.
That's surprising me. I'd have been like, you guys want a bone? Because you'll be in the corner. No, I wouldn't have walked anywhere. I didn't have, let's just say my little black book wasn't so to a name.
Okay. You pick me out the bed, I'm going home by myself and yanking it. Damn.
No. Some of us can't afford to be so picky. Let's say that, all right? I'm not saying all guys are blessed with personality and good looks like Mr. Marcos. Some of us have to do our work the hard way.
All
with
right,
money.
So here's the deal.
Put in the work. You'll be just
put in the work. Here's the full thought process on this. Okay, I'm gonna bring the show back on the rails. All right. Sex is, if you get nothing else from this show, sex is supposed to be fun. The moment it's not, there's a problem. If you're having to make it work, you're having to fight through it, it's no longer fun, it's becoming a that should be the simplest thing. Dolphins do it, okay? Like, for fun. Like, it should be fun. It really should. And if you can't joke, you can't talk, you can't communicate, maybe you're with the wrong person. Maybe you're, not connected with yourself. I mean, it could be a number of things. But, I mean, there's supposed to be a level, hence the reason that we're a kink show, and we talk about play scenes, because play scenes are set up, right? There's negotiation that happens, communication, all that bullshit. But the play scene is set up. It's beautiful. It's clouds. It's dungeons. It's darkness. It's whatever you want it to be, and it's playing. It's imagination. And if you can't have that, just even in your regular sex life, being vanilla or whatever, like what are you doing?
For sure.
Fun.
So yeah, I mean, like, if you can't laugh during sex, I mean, are you taking it too serious? That's a real question that I have for the crew, because that's how I feel. Sex should be fun. At some point,
I'm serious about it. I'm serious. I am dead serious. I'm getting a 5-star review, and that's it. There's no.
I'm right with you on that one, Aurora. I mean, it should be fun. You should be able to laugh and have a good time, and all involved, whether it's in one person or another. Everyone should be leaving a little bit better than when they got there. So
right.
It's game time. It's the playoffs.
And like, too many people think of it like that, where it's just like, oh, I got to show up and show out, because and it's the idea that
don't make it work. Don't make it work.
Exactly, but a lot of guys look at it as, and this is the funny thing. A lot of guys will do a one-night stand, but they'll perform like they want them to come back, even though they don't want anything to do with them after that.
Yes.
And so,
yes,
and it's in hopes that, well, maybe she'll tell her friends that, yo, this dude did this dude did that, and maybe his friends will want to hook up. And so it's like, they got to put on a performance. They got to put on a show. We got to, like I said, show up, show out, and, bring out all the stops and everything. And if your head isn't blowing off, by the end of it, then we're not done. And if it takes an hour or two, at the very least, you could tell your friends, like, yo, we went for 2 hours.
Kane, there's a reason that Pete Davidson has a reputation.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I have a real honest question for the guys in the room, okay? Is it like that, what Kane was just explaining, okay, where you have to, like, overperform, you're overthinking, you're, I gotta, be the best in bed, right? He's taking that from a one-night stand perspective, a hookup perspective. If you are with somebody, like, we're not even gonna say that you're in the relationship with this person, but let's just say that you've hooked up with this person a couple times, This is your playmate for all intents and purposes of a better definition of this person. This is who you play with in a play scene, okay? Are you still, like, you have communication. You guys know each other. Are you still, every time, let's say you have a wife. Every time you're going into the room, like, I gotta perform. I gotta be the best. I gotta be the very best. Like, no one ever was. I mean, like, what are you guys doing? Like, that's just what? Like, honestly, is that what's going through your head? Or is it just during, like, stranger danger? I'm hooking up with strange.
I'll let Knight go first.
It's very look. Unfortunately, there's a trade-off if you're in a serious relationship or get married. That's something that gets sacrificed. I will admit that's something that gets sacrificed. But here's the reason why. Okay.
Wait. So you're saying you sacrifice the wanting to be the best?
Here's the reason why.
Okay. All right.
That person knows that you could turn it on. That's the thing. They know.
Oh God, you're a lazy lover.
If the situation,
okay.
No, listen. If the situation
Didn't we
calls
establish
for
that
it,
like 2 episodes ago?
No.
That he was lazy.
Right?
I just want to be tied up.
I'm like
Shaq.
I'm like Shaq on the regular season. I don't put out until it's until it's the playoffs. But no, for real, they know you can turn it on, right? And you don't. Again, because it's happened so often, sometimes they don't need the whole dinner show. You know, sometimes they just need a little bit. To just keep
I
things
understand
going.
a quickie, but I'm asking if you yourself, as a guy, are in your head every time, like this is
With a stranger. With the stranger,
No.
absolutely.
No.
With somebody that I'm with repeatedly after I have, let's say, I don't want to say because you never really master anything, but
Right.
after it becomes, let's say, very easy for you to play that song, right?
Yes.
You don't have to dedicate so many resources to it. You can kind of, I don't want to say clock out, but you don't
You can
have
play
to
the
So
hits.
your head's not. So for you, your head is not in it. You're not working as hard as you would with a stranger.
Right.
Okay.
And
Kay.
yeah.
Kay. Yep. Go ahead, Kay.
And everybody bear witness. Here is the episode, the prequel to Red versus Blue, because I have to disagree with you.
Right.
And I'm going to do it in a way that's going to be... I'm giving away trade secrets here. All right, so hold the applause. Hold on to your jaws. All right, chill out for 2 seconds, because I know these two broads are about to go ape shit. Aurora's already starting.
Because you have broad ideas. You have very broad ideas.
All right.
That's why.
Oh, shut your mouth.
These two, okay, fine. These two dames are about to lose it. All right, because I'm giving.
Goddess.
I am giving
Goddess.
away.
Thank you.
I am giving away trade secrets right now, and this will be. I hope at least one of our viewers is female and will be like, "Oh shit, light bulb," because a lot of guys are gonna be like, "Yo, Kane, what the fuck you doing?" Men show up and show out every single time for one very, very, very simple fucking reason. And it's going to be the dumbest thing and the simplest thing that you guys are going to shit yourselves that you never thought of it. Men are sensitive and have very fragile egos. And when it comes to performing in the bedroom... When it comes to performing in the bedroom, it's like, yo, I gotta show up, I gotta show out, I gotta pull all the stops, because I'll be damned if if I'm gonna get a negative review on this. I know what I'm doing. I know it's worked before. I have a tried and true method. I'm gonna get it. Every woman I've ever been with is gonna leave satisfied. And so when you hit that difficult one, then all of a sudden it's not a problem with your technique. That bitch is just hard to get off. She's difficult. She's the problem. Men have a really hard time accepting blame, or, like we said, communicating and, even listening to what their partner likes or what their partner wants, because it's like, well, everybody likes it like this. I've had good reviews on this. I've always had positive feedback from this. I've always gotten the job done this way. And getting told, oh, don't do it like this, do it like that. it's damaging to the ego. They might not show it up front. They might not be, you know, like very forthcoming with, hey, you know, that hurt my feelings. Because as men in like the world, we're taught to, you know, like don't bear your feelings on your sleeves. But I mean, it's damaging. It does something to the fragile male ego, and a lot of that is in this fucking misogynistic alpha male bullshit they're putting out right now. And we're gonna get on that next week or sometime in the near future. But your fragile fucking ego is not a reason to not have fun or enjoy sex. You can't bring that in there every single time and expect, you know, knock it out the yard every single time. Barry Bonds didn't always hit home runs. Babe Ruth didn't always hit home runs, but he's still remembered as one of the greatest fucking baseball players. You don't always gotta knock it out the park to get invited back. You know, I know a lot of chicks, and it took a while for me to learn. It took a while for me to come to this conclusion where the less I gave a shit about pleasing my partner, the more pleased my partner was, because I wasn't so stuck in my head that I had to get a job done, and I wasn't mucking up the fucking ambiance in the room with my own, you know, head chatter like, wait, why isn't she getting there? Why isn't she getting there? Should I go faster? I gotta go faster, don't I? No, you don't gotta blow their heads off every single time. Sometimes they can be like, oh, damn, girl, that was some good stuff. I mean, you know, I got there before you did, but let me try again. And that sometimes works better and is often more reciprocable than just being like, oh, I got to get it done on the first time. I can't get it. Oh, well, then you know what? You're difficult.
Okay, so I got a real question. I appreciate everything that you came with. On the opposite end of the spectrum was what Night came with, okay? Because that's, you know, that's what I'm looking for. Let's see where we sit, where we fall. Let's really talk, right? But for you personally, I hear that you're telling men this is what they need to do. But for you personally, do you go into a situation where you know somebody and you're in your head and you're trying to knock it out of the park every time?
Still to this day, like I said, I just admitted, you know, like I know that the best sex that, you know, I've ever had is when I wasn't in my head, but it's, call it genetic, call it evolution, call it, you know, like you know, primal instinct. Every single new experience brings that, for lack of a better word, pressure to be good and to, you know, to have word of mouth spread, basically. Like, I want to be known as the best. I want to perform the best because I don't want this person leaving dissatisfied, because I stand a better chance of coming back or, you know, tagging some of your friends if you have something good to say about it, versus if you say something bad, then all of a sudden everybody I get with will be like, man, does she know this chick? Do you know this? Like, do you know this person? Have you heard what this person said about me? And it's pressure. It gets inside here.
There is truth in that. Like I said, Pete Davidson effect. You would be surprised. Like, you think a lot of women would be very possessive and be like, oh, I was with him and he's not going to be with anybody else. But I have known plenty of dudes that got passed around in friend groups because they were good.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the bar. That's what every dude is wanting, and so that's why, like, you can't be the guy. Like, you know how chicks or like other dudes, as soon as you find out your friend has a bigger dick, you're not necessarily their best friend anymore. It's like the guy with the biggest package isn't necessarily the best friend in the group. Like, everybody was like, oh man, you know, like, Dave's a cool dude, but don't let him talk to your chick.
Okay, and here's something that we're going to get into later on in this season, especially when it comes to female versus male. So I'm just going to kind of touch on this a little bit and give away a little bit of trade secrets on the girls' end of this as well. That's a hype. It's a hype. It's a hype between women. I mean, a lot of times, yes, okay, there are some size queens. There are some women that are like, oh my God, like, he was so good in bed, you got to try. But it's a hype. It's no more than dudes standing in a locker room and going, look, my shit's bigger because, you know what, I stroked it before I stood in the shower with y'all. Like, it's no different than that. You know what I'm saying? And so this whole persona of guys having to be this excellent lover is built around a
fear of being laughed at.
A telephone line of women that decided to go, okay, you know what? He's good. He's not. He's good. Because y'all had your black books, we had to have something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I've gained through talking to a lot of different women around a lot of different places. And I have these kind of sexual talks. I will just randomly ask people these kinds of questions because I want to know, like, what are you thinking? What do you feel? You know? And what I get is when you get down to the brass tacks of it, even the size queens aren't really size queens. They're size queens for their friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, you know, he wasn't all that big, but he could kill it. So I wasn't that mad. I mean, you know, it wasn't like, ha, where I was choking on it from the other end. But, you know, he could work it. His shit was like this and crooked, but he could work it. Like, if you get down to the brass tacks of it with women. And it's funny that, like, I don't know where this started. It'd be interesting to find out where the line of telephone started, where men jump on the bandwagon and go, oh, shit, I got to have a big dick. I got to pound that shit in, and I got to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
the internet. That's why the internet. It's pornography.
Half the time, if you look at it biologically, right, men have an issue with when they lose their erection, trying to get it back up, trying to get back into the mood, whatever, right? Women, when they're there, it's very easy to mentally stimulate us back into the mood if we've fallen out. You can make us laugh. And it's like, ha, okay. You know, it's that simple. So it's like...
That kind of has the opposite effect for me.
On to that, and they're like, oh my God, it's got to be serious. Like,
no, I can't make people laugh. I've been told not to make them laugh because they don't stop.
And something that I want to throw out there for a lot of guys, because I know for me, like within my family, there was a common saying that everybody threw out there, and even like family friends were hanging about when, you know, this got uttered, and they were all like, yeah, like that best advice ever, you know. They told me if a woman can't find you handsome, she should at least find you handy. And that was something that like kind of transcribed across, you know, like a bunch of different areas of my life where it was like if I couldn't be everything that they wanted, how do I be enough? And that started a really tragic mentality of not pleasing myself or finding
loving yourself,
finding that I wrap my self-worth around what other people thought. And a lot of guys do it. And a lot of guys, and like I said earlier, you know, fragile egos and, you know, all that shit. Every guy is secretly terrified of getting laughed at in a bedroom.
Yeah, and I think you really hit it on the head whenever you initially started off, was men are very sensitive beings. They really are. They like to put up this facade of being strong, almighty, and tough. Nothing can get to my emotions.
They are some of the most emotional creatures.
Yeah, very sensitive.
Mm-hmm. You know, women get the rap that we are sensitive. We get the rap that we're emotional. And yes, we are. Okay. Yeah. But the difference is, and this is just coming from counseling a lot of different people. The difference is that women talk about it, so we seem more emotional. We're like, look, I'm hurt. Here's the deal. I need to talk to you because I'm hurt. Here's why I'm hurt. And men are like, I'm fucking hurt. I hate you. Get away from me. Go away, guys. You know, like, and they pout in a corner. They pout in a corner where women are like, look, I'm hurt. We need to talk about this. And men are like,
oh, there's the tears. There's the tears.
Yeah. So, it's, you know, it's a very different basis. But it's funny because men haven't realized, I'm not going to say all men, but there's a good chunk of men that haven't realized that, hey, you could just talk about it up front and then.
What is talking going to do?
Because otherwise you sitting there on your freaking emotions, holding it in, and then you blow up at the girl because, you know, 2 weeks ago you didn't get head the way you wanted to. So, you know, your whole 2 weeks.
I told her once, I didn't have to tell her twice.
But I was mad because you saw the stuff go limp in your mouth. So, I'm gonna need you to fix that. I'm gonna go pout in the corner. You don't like me no more. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole damn thing.
And Dave Attell, a comedian, had a very funny line about he was at a bar and he saw a woman with a black eye and he wanted to talk to her, but he was like, yeah, she probably doesn't listen.
Damn.
Damn.
Okay. Well, then we are moving on.
But I want to.
I do not condone violence.
Right. I want to piggyback on what Kane said. I was someone who believed for many years, before I had any self-confidence, before I had any self-esteem, I thought in order to make myself attractive, I needed skills. Napoleon Dynamite's kind of skills. So instead of being handsome, I thought I had to be handy. So I learned as much as I could, because I said one day I'm going to try and get a wife, and I'm going to need all these skills to attract somebody. And this was a mentality that was toxic, because I was like, I'm not good enough here, and I need to learn this, and I need to do this, and I need to know how to do this, and I need how to... And you're right. Gotta love yourself.
Yep. Love yourself first.
Get out of your head. Just
Get out of your head. And like Kane said, the more you enjoy yourself during a sexual expedition, okay, that's what we're going to call it, because we don't know if you're in a play scene or what, okay? A sexual expedition, the more that you are having fun yourself, the more that you are pleasing yourself, and this goes for guys or girls, okay, or non-binary, whatever you label yourself as. But here's the deal. Please yourself. Love yourself. The more you love yourself, the more you're into it yourself, the more your partner will be into it as well. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's somebody that's just like, I'm just trying to get it in. They're going to get more turned on because you are turned on, because you are doing things that are getting you there. You know what I'm saying?
But be careful. Be careful with that mentality, because there are some on the other side of the spectrum that said, yeah, as long as I'm getting what I want, then that person will get it trickle down.
Now you combat it. Love yourself and get what you want too. Boo-boo, your shoes are by the door. I'm sorry you didn't. Have a good night. I mean.
Oh, love it.
So we've been carrying on with this for about 2 hours now. I think it's good to wrap it up right about here.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Gotcha.
It's Friday. What are you doing here?
So
you're getting strange. We taught you how. Now go get some strange.
Yeah, go out to the club and tell us in the comments if you got lucky.
How it turned out. Did you talk about it beforehand? Did you talk about it during?
And tell us how your kink of the month
works out. Yeah,
turned out.
Yeah, worked out.
All right, so I'm gonna close this out with
I'm battling a head cold, so I'm not completely here. But yes,
I was wondering.
Know how your kink of the month, turned out. Let us know.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna close this out with a real quick joke that kind of pertains to this, and just to get everybody laughing as we exit out of here. All right, so there's this older couple, and they've been married for years. So they're in their their twilight season. The wife walks up to her husband and smacks him. And he goes, "Jesus, woman, what the hell was that for?" And she goes, "That was for 60 years of bad sex."
Oh, damn.
And so the husband gets up, smacks her right back. And she goes, "What the hell was that for?" And he goes, "That's for knowing the difference." So,
with that, we're out.
with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Enjoy your guys' weekend.
Real quick. With that, we're going to be bringing to you next week some alpha male stuff. So be sure to stay tuned for that.
So I bring that up just to say, this weekend, be the difference. All right.
Yes.
Make sure somebody knows, and get out of your head and find out that it's a lot more fun when you actually stop and have fun. All right.
Yes.
So that's
Tell
it
them
for
you
Safe
love those
Word.
velvet pillowcases
Yes.
when you're in the middle of.
And silk sheets in this heat. Just slide on off.
All right. That's it for
Don't say
Safe
that.
Word.
Don't
We'll catch you
listen
guys
to me.
another time.
Don't listen to me.
All right.